Hello everybody and welcome back to WoW Mods. So we are back and I am in Elwyn Forest, Northshire actually to be more precise. But I'm gonna jump right to it. I'm not gonna make you wait too long. So what is this video gonna be all about? Well, this video is going to be about where I mod all my other maps that you've seen, the ones that aren't part of anything that you've seen within WoW Wrath of the Lich King. So I'm about to reveal how I actually go ahead and do that. So first of all, what you need to understand is that WoW is divided into a series of very large region maps. So for example, Eastern Kingdoms is an entire enormous map. Kalimdor is an entire and enormous map. Outland was its own entire map. Northrend is also its entire map. But aside from that, it also has smaller, large maps that are dungeons, that are, for example, the Caverns of Times, like older versions, or, you know, the versions of the past of like Hillsbrad Foothills, or anything like that, or Stratholme in the past, are also independent maps. So it turns out that there is a map that the people at Blizzard never really fully implemented, and it's an enormous map. It's about the size of I guess, a full expansion map. So the whole size, you know, or very close to being, you know, the size of an entire continent. So what that means is that what I've decided to do is I've essentially just used different parts of those maps and sort of like narrow it down. Anyways, I'll explain it as I'll show you. So that particular map that I used is called the Emerald Dream. So right now, using GM commands, I'm going to I believe it's this. And bam! I've now been taken to the Emerald Dream. And I'm going to turn on Fly, and I'm going to also set the speed up a little bit higher so that I can actually show you. So there is some terrain work. This isn't work that I did. This is work that Blizzard did, and I'm sure that if you've looked at other original Emerald Dream maps in the past, people had explored these areas and shown them. This is pretty much what the Emerald Dream ideas were back then, but the map is also, you need to understand, enormous. So this is one of the edges of the map. So this, by the way, this entire area, if you were so committed to actually cleaning it up, texturing, putting plants, you know, you don't have to really work out the terrain. It could be an entire region that you can do just by sort of texturing and perhaps placing in, well, you know, all the works with the additional M2s. So I'm just flying around and I'm showing you just how large this is. But then, if you could continue going through here, you'll find that it is just enormous. It's never ending. Some areas have this green sky, but if you know how to mod, then you probably know how to correct those errors with the sky. Put a new skybox in. Anyways, it's enormous. So there's never. If you're looking, one of the problems is, or why I get asked, for example, about why does this matter? Well, if you're trying to make a new map in WoW, you actually have to be able to tinker something on the modding side of it, which I'm actually not entirely too familiar with. I remember reading some, but since I mainly mod on the game world itself, and when I have side projects, I just bring them here because I just pick a spot of land which I think, you know, doesn't have any terrain, that is flat, and I actually start working in that entire area. There's enough real estate that you can do that. Now, if you don't want everything to be accessible on the same map, that's perfectly fine. You just do what Blizzard does, in which you create areas which are areas that you can't travel, or that are blocked. So if I wanted to run like an invisible blocking line through all of this all the way to the other end of the map, that's entirely possible. And so long as you keep enough viewing distance from this point to the next point, when people get teleported here by like custom portals or something, they won't know where they are, and they can't see, far off in the distance, or everything is far off enough that from your blocking point, you can't see it. So it might as well just be its own separate map. So you can totally do that with this if that's what you want. And proof of that is I will now show you what maps that you're all familiar with but are currently being hosted in the continent, in this weird development continent of the Emerald Deem. So first up, Tele. Suramar. Boom. So this has taken me, like you say, it didn't take me through a loading screen. It took me straight up into the other area. And that's... Oh, shit. I guess my GM tag isn't on. Where is my GM? Sorry about that. Yeah, there we go. So yeah, so that is... this is one of the areas, and you're familiar with this. And as you can see, if you keep flying off into the distance over there, you'll just start floating into another area of the Emerald Dream. My idea is that I'll eventually, extend the ocean far enough and put some blocking areas at certain points that once you are in sort of this Suramar area and the surrounding land, you can actually see some of the borders of the island as I've set them, with the exception of this, of course. Yeah, you can definitely get a sense of where the limitations are. And actually, if you fly from this way all the way over here, you can see that I actually built this in one of the corners of the map, essentially. So it's very far off from where I first started showing you. But that's a place, that this is a way that you can get away with actually modding without having to learn how to incorporate new maps. There's an entire continent's worth. Next area, Tele Kultiris, which is also on the same map. And here we go, and look, it's entirely different, another skybox, another geography, and everything else. I'm not gonna, I might just give you like a tiny sneak peek of like what's been going on here, but like I'll go from afar and I'll give you, you can see it's the same Emerald Dream, and then from a distance you've got that. I'll give you a quick little flyby from what's been going on right now. And I won't let you in too much because I want to reveal that when we do a video specifically for Kultiris. So think about it. That's one where you can actually put your mods or mod more territory, islands and whatever. And there's ways around it. You just got to learn to be creative with the maps themselves. So until then, everybody, I will see all of you next time.